most Gustavis weren't done by him at all. You and I are of a certain persuasion. You and I are of some brand new social trends. You say you're not impressed by me or my honeyed language. You say you're alright, honey, but I hate all of your friends. This can't go any way except badly. I can't think of any other way. My only skill is talking round and round and round in circles. You can talk in straight lines all day. Words have always made me feel so clever and so smart. The way you turn them back at me is nothing short of art. You'd sooner burn the Amazon than look me in the eye. I can see the smoke from here, well I give up goodbye.
Stop. Now. I'm speaking directly into your brain. There's about 3 minutes left in this foray. Only 3 more minutes and not much left to say. Some snide aside or pithy comeback of speaking directly to your brain. This is real life we're talking about. In real life, we always trip over our one-liners. I could say something to tie everything up in a neat little bow, but I think I'll monologue for a bit longer instead. You're expecting something now, but it's not meant to be, and no amount of persuasion can get one out of me.
When you haven't got a soul and completely lack rhythm and compensate for the rented white tuxedo, well, we know how this'll end. Please don't try to pretend, but I know just what to do. Hey, does this fruit punch taste like ecstasy to you? Get on down now. You're not on the dance floor, you're in the trunk of my car. Don't let the music fool you, you won't get very far. Your heart's beating fast like it's a 4 on the floor. My foot's on the gas, don't try and open the door. I know this little warehouse in the San Fernando Valley. Well, it's not in the valley, but it's up near the valley. And I know you must be thinking I'm like some modern day Manson, but don't be obtuse, you know it's for your own good. It's all fun and games until someone puts a Miss Your Hair record on. on. It's all fun and games until someone puts a Miss Your Hair record on. You're not on the dance floor, you're in the trunk of my car. Don't let the music fool you, you won't get very far. Your heart's beating fast like it's a 4 on the floor. My foot's on the gas, don't try and open the door. You're not on the dance floor, you're in the trunk of my car. Don't let the music fool you, you won't get very far. Your heart's beating fast like it's a 4 on the floor. My foot's on the gas, don't try and open the door. I once was just like you. Get up in a gaudy leisure suit with a tacky Fu Manchu. I walked into the discotheque and soon became a nervous wreck, frustrated and alone, with an air of cheap cologne. I wouldn't wish that kind of humiliation upon any other living soul. But you seem rather shameless when you resuscitate. Oh, you must tell me, what was your goal? Floor, you're in the trunk of my car. Don't let the music fool you. You won't get very far. Your heart's beating fast like it's a 4. Try it over. You're not on the dance floor. The dance floor won't get very far. Your heart's beating fast. You're doing well right there. Do you need some water? You're not too uncomfortable. Let the music fool you. You are being in the back of my car. Fast like it's not on the dance floor. Try it over the door. You're not on the dance floor. You're in the trunk of my car. List of places you're not at.
Yo.
And hello, welcome to the 23rd GPod. I am Sal, also known as Sal Studios, and I am joined by some really lovely looking chaps today. Mind introducing yourselves? We're gonna start from top to the bottom. You go first, Abu.
Thank you for having me. This is my first time, so I don't have much experience how it is first podcast, but thank you for having me.
Same to you. Next up, Dar Kunor.
Hello. How's everyone doing? It's an honor to meet you.
Hell
I never
yeah!
expected to be in this place.
Well, you're doing good. Don't worry. Next up is Gray.
Hello, it is I, Graymations, and thanks for having me on GPod.
Well then, and last but not least, Sohold and Spike.
Hey everyone, Sohold and Spike here, and yes, I'm not alone. Spike is also here to talk about stuff.
Sup everyone, I'm glad to be part of this Gpod again, so let's get started, shall we?
Well, I suppose we have two more people joining in. But anyways, before we actually begin, I want to talk about the intro for a bit. Our lovely cast member Abu made the wonderful intro just now. Could you describe a bit of the process that went into the intro?
First of all, I think the JoJo intro, the intro was based on JoJo Bizarre Adventure, was relatively a very simple intro because first of all it's fast-paced. Second, I think the stances of the JoJo characters are just still. So, and thanks to Rush 2 footage, we have like an actual fight animation. Thank you to the participants for your watched footage. But I could make it very easily and rushed, if you say so. And yeah, other than that, I only spent a lot of time on the fire shot where they're all standing together and posing them as 4-5 characters separately along with the background.
I actually like what you did with the intro. Like, the thing is with intros, they're not supposed to be very elaborate or lengthy. You can make a lot of splash with just something that's short, yet really really big and pop like it pops out. Like JoJo intros are perfect for that. So it's a great inspiration that we went with that. We had like other ideas, yeah, but we went with the JoJo intro in the end, and you did a really good job with it. So thank you, Abu.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Yeah. Okay. I do also want to mention one thing. Previously, with the other podcasts, we used to do them on Twitch, and then we upload the VODs over to our YouTube channel. But with how Twitch has been lately, and the way they handle VODs nowadays, and given the fact that our audience are technically from our YouTube channels rather than Twitch, and we're GModders, not Twitch streamers, so we ended up moving on to YouTube. From now on, all of our podcasts, starting from this one, are going to be on YouTube, and as a personal opinion, as the host, I kind of like that decision. Though I'm going to try and refrain from those personal opinions. Anyways, do you guys have any opinions on the move? Do you think do you think it was pretty good or not? Well, what about you, Gray?
I think it's a pretty good move, actually.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's yeah.
Sorry, you first.
I don't know. No, I was just waiting on you. Don't worry. Anyway, sorry about that. Now that we're done with that relatively short answer, and sorry for making this sorry for making this awkward. We're gonna actually move on to our main topics for today. So for our first topic, and it's a relatively how do I say this in a good way?
Recent.
Not really recent. I'm trying to find the word for it. I'm sorry. It's just out of my head. But it's a topic that we talk about a lot lately. But let's talk about collabs, right? Let's talk about the thing that we always do. Rush 2 and the upcoming Loop collab. Particularly Rush 2, since all of us have participated in that collab. It was pretty nice. Do you have any opinions on Rush 2 or collabs in general? Like, what did you do with Rush 2 and the experiences that you got from it? How about you, Sohold?
Yeah, so far,
Our experience on this Rush 2 was something like just amazing. Just like the previous one, this one really kicked more ass than I expected. And the interesting part here was walking with a partner, which in our case it was with him. Like, it was an interesting a partner that was chosen to us to work with, because it's like it was like a two sides of the coin. You know, like in my part, we make something like more action packed or more serious stuff, and then you have him with his funny scout, and there's more about comedy and stuff like that. And you know, it was interesting to see how exactly is the workflow for your partner and the ideas you can have, the ideas to share, the way how they work, and also the mix with characters. Not only for my part, but I believe all of us made, you know, some of those blended well. You know, probably something epic, just like here with Gray and Cooner, and some others, just like what happened with me and Hima, or even with the Evil and Crazy Scout thing, like some kind of strange combinations that at the end of the day really work just fine. And you know, I love this 2 versus 2 format the Merciless made into this one. You know, compared it to the first one. And also another thing about it is about the time we have. You know, like it was 48 hours in total. 24 hours for each participant, like, and the ability to that Merciless give to us to divide it into many sessions, like, I don't know, let's say working like 4 hours in one day of animation, and then you can divide those times in many days until you're finished up. Although at the end of it, for it, in my opinion, maybe for that the rush thing wasn't that present at all compared to the first one, in which you have 24 hours to make something, but it's like 2 follow-up days, and here you can divide it to many days. So maybe that part of the rush thing was not present around here, but I can't believe it was a really fun experience.
And on my part, I can say it's kind of the same thing. It was a fun experience to see the diversity of characters fighting each other, kicking some asses together, and you know, it was something fun, and a collaboration that was more like more of an hour, if I remember. I'm not sure exact time, but yeah, it was something really amazing to see and really funny to watch. It blended so many things about epic stuff, some action, some comedy. You know, it was a perfect combo from all of this. So that's what we can say from this Rush to Collab.
Actually, speaking of which, given that you worked with Hema, how was your experience with your teammate? By the way, did you feel like you were more motivated when you're working with somebody else for the podcast, for the the Rush collab?
Yeah, well, I was not exactly expecting anyone in specific to be my partner. I was usually giving suggestions, but it was just, I don't know if Merciless was just joined, like with someone and stuff like that. But I didn't really care about who was going to team up with, because there's something that I was expecting with it, and it's about no matter who's going to be my teammate, I was going to learn an experience from this other part. And experience with him and work with it, so it was just interesting. And I do believe I learned many things from him, and probably he learned many things from me. And it was like a mutual learning and a lot of knowledge sharing and stuff. And yeah, at the end of the day, it was a nice result that with around here, like many around, I never expected, like probably our combination won't work at all. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was something really amazing, and I really feel great to work with him. And I hope it's not the only last time that we work alongside with him.
Yeah, I feel I feel like I have a mutual, I share the same opinion as you, actually. For speaking of which, because even though I didn't choose Abu, I genuinely felt I learned a lot during my experience working with him. Like the difference between Rushed One when I was working alone, and I had to work without a time watch. I could like stop and like work on another day. I had to do the whole thing within one day. Was kind of a constraint. But this one felt a little more relaxed, which Speaking of which, I want to talk about my partner over here, Abu. How was your experience with Rush 2? Like, did you enjoy working in Rush 2, and like, how was it? How did you feel working with someone else on an entry?
First of all, what I think really benefited me in Rush 2 is that I'm usually a very slow worker. Like I delay things, I procrastinate. I think too, like when I open Gmod, I think too much. What should I do? How should the scene be? How should the characters be? But Rush 2 tells you like just throw all that out of the window. Just do it like immediately.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah,
Make
but
your dreams come true. But yeah,
and I think we need. And I think I'm not sure if everyone prefers this, but I think Merciless's attitude, like he's almost like our drill instructor, like move your asses, everyone. I think this actually works. Like sometimes you really need a kick in the butt to move. So
yeah, I get
I
that.
think, and I think in general, despite like I've been Gmodding for some time, I never. I think I think this is with you. This is my first time like partnering up with someone in Gmod. So this is like really a first experience for with me. So and as for the rushed element, actually that helped me with preparing for the intro because I don't think if I hadn't done my rushed intro, I would have finished. My rushed entry. I wouldn't have finished the Gpod intro in time now. Like the rushed entry is telling me to make
So,
things happen, like to finish things faster. Yeah.
So like, like let go of perfection. Just try your best. Just,
So again, just do it.
just do it. Yeah. Like actually, like when I had some experience with you. Like when we were working on the entry together, like we had like a lot of ideas in our head, right? We thought of like a million ideas, and like we ended up changing things because we wanted to like just fit everything within the same time within the allotted time. Like we had like a lot of like fight ideas, like we had even like a full sequence that we had to just take out, or like to shorten the music even, just so that we could fit everything within one within a deadline, right?
Yeah, I think the Rush 2 element that you'll be animating within a stopwatch, that actually helps, especially that you have like maybe 2 months prior to prepare. It actually helps you to. Well, that's why we're saying like we need to get so many ideas to use these hours efficiently. We don't want to waste any time. So I think that helps us to like write so many ideas.
Yeah, it brought up
The fact that our time is limited. Yeah.
Yeah, it brought up our creativity to overdrive. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, especially the last few days. I think like every few hours you'd send me on Discord. Look, you'd send me like you did this scene. Like wow, you're being much faster than me.
I guess I just have experience from the previous Crush Combat collab. Also, like I did practice on my own just so that I could, animate fights a lot faster and like not worry about wasting time.
About fights and preparation. I don't know. Like for myself, I don't storyboard for my animations. It's not like I don't think it's good. I just don't feel like doing it. Like if I'm gonna write a storyboard, I could just animate instead of making a storyboard.
Yeah,
For me, it takes effort to write a storyboard.
Yeah, no, I get that. But this particular collab had me do an entire storyboard of my own, just so that we get our ideas into one shape. Actually, thank you, Apple, for that. Actually, speaking of which, Kunor and Gray, you worked on an entry together, right? What was your experience with the rushed combat, or like, and you working together? And on the topic of storyboarding, did the collab force you to like do things that you didn't get used to doing or never did before, but you had to do in order to fit everything within the allotted time that you were given?
Well, it's yes. The Rush to Collab teaches me in a harsh way to structure everything I needed to do since, well, doing fighting sequences isn't the most fast and easy thing to do in animation, especially on GMOD with its limitations. So I actually had to roll down and storyboard many parts of the entry and then see how much time were they going to take. I had to cut out many ideas before proposing them to my partner over here, Gray. Yeah, it teaches me to see my time and be resourceful.
Oh, I mean, but it was beneficial though. Like you made it in time. You made a great entry, right?
Yes, I feel that I could have done way better. But well, that's just me being harsh.
I mean, we all do. We all got that feeling. But think of it like this: the fact that you two worked together and achieved a really cool fighting animation within a time limited of like a non-consecutive 24-hour limit is pretty fucking impressive. Like, don't downplay yourself. It's pretty good. You guys kicked ass. Great. Do you have like any? Do you share like the same opinions as Kunor? How was your experience working with Kunor?
The experience was good. It was actually originally my idea to have a style JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fight against our opponents.
Yeah, I liked that one, by the way. It was cool as hell.
Yeah, and it was also my idea to do the Eyes of Heaven finisher that you see at the end.
Oh, did you storyboard that with Kuno, or did you like just wing it?
I storyboarded my parts that I was going to animate, and then he would storyboard his parts that he was going to animate too.
Okay, so you two worked on your own parts, but did you share ideas and help out each other on each part?
Yeah, we helped out each other. We shared a few ideas here and there, and so yeah. But some of the ideas that we came up with didn't really turn out well, so we just had to stick to one idea.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the point of the entire collab is to you get many ideas in your head, but in the end, you just have to focus on the one idea that works. And sometimes you don't even know when it works until you have 3 hours left of the deadline to just finish.
Yeah.
You have to haul ass and finish it. But yeah, the fact that we all finished our entries is pretty impressive. I do want to ask this particular question, so I'm gonna actually go on a reverse order from starting with you, Gray, then Kunor, then Abu, then Sohold. Doing it like a reverse order. This is a question that I want to answer this myself, actually, but it's it's something that we all felt. Was there something that held you a lot during the rush too? Did you feel like there's something that if that if it wasn't there, you could have done a far better job, or you felt like it made your life working on in the entry a lot more, made things harder for you?
Yeah, there was lots of things I wanted to do, but I really didn't have enough time to, since we were all on a 24-hour limit.
Yeah, I get that.
So I did have a few good ideas, but they just didn't make it.
Yeah, that's the time. The time limit here is. Also, I should have said this, but this was a question made by Shadowon. He asked that particular question, and we're here to oblige. So yeah, and I felt like it was a fitting question to ask since we're technically on the topic of Rush too. Speaking of which, do you also feel the same with Gray, Kunor? Did you feel like the time limit made things a lot harder for you? or was there something else that held you back?
The main thing that held me back a lot was, well, real life. It dragged me down on many occasions because
That got that. Hmm.
for example, one day was planning on animating a certain scene, but life happens and I had to use the entire day towards that thing. It was mainly real life the main drawback.
The main villain.
The main villain.
The main villain of the arc. But yeah,
Yes.
I get that. I mean, it happens to everyone. Don't worry about that. Was there? Do you feel the same as well, Abu, or was there something else that was holding you back?
Not having your ideas realized, I actually learned this from Rushed 1 because I was hoping my Rushed 1 entry to be like 2 minutes long. But of course, that didn't happen. So I learned my mistake in Rush 2. But I still, I had a few ideas in mind. But at least you did them because, I ran out of time, but you didn't yet. So, like the idea that having Scout his fire hand to be like a sword, thankfully you did that idea for me. Especially the finisher, which is a split screen attack. I was planning that we both do it in actually Gmod, but since only animating time counts, we did it in post. As they say, we'll do it in post.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have enough time, and we.
I do this with a lot of things. Like, oh, what can I do? Oh, we'll
I get that as well. Oh, it was tough.
Because I want to say, speaking of post, for me myself, I enjoy editing because I have this sound library that I have collected for the past maybe 12 years. I sampled so many audios from different movies, different anime, whatever. That's why, and especially I enjoy making sounds like they're coming from the right or from the left. That's why I advise anyone when they watch my videos that I'd say please wear headphones. Because for me, the sound experience matters. Yeah.
So you enjoyed the sound editing process.
Yeah, the sound editing especially. Yeah.
That is actually pretty neat. And I never thought about focusing so much on audio editing, but I really want to try that as well. Soho, actually, speaking of which, Sohold, was there something that held you back during the Rush 2 entry when you're working on it with Hema? And
go ahead. That's first.
No. Go ahead. Don't worry about me.
All right. So something that really stopped around here, it was mostly about work, and we are quite busy from Monday to Friday, and even if weekends were the available time, still we have to do some stuff around here, arranging some stuff and that was the main thing that kind of stopped us a little bit for working. We were planning, and I was planning to make nice decent amounts of animations. I tried to did my best as fast as possible, but certain situations didn't let me do that, so I have to divide it in I believe 2-3 weekends, the animation I have to do until I finished. And there was another thing that also kind of stopped just a little bit, but you want to answer that? It's fine.
Yeah, it was the fact that there was some voice lines that we forgot to ask at first. So we wanted to try to start first animating the first weekend, actually, but we forgot to ask for some voice lines, and they were not ready yet. So we had to just propose that animation session for the next week, and then that's what exactly the main delay. But other than that, I think that was just the only situations that quite stopped us from making some good animation sessions for it.
Yeah. Look, sometimes we just end up not finding the right sounds, and we go into a panic, or we don't get the voice lines in time. It's a real tough situation. I get you. Before we tap off the Rush combat topic, there's a cool question that we got from Low Scorpion in chat. It's a rather interesting question, but we're gonna go at it real fast. If you could have chosen your own Rushed Combat 2 teammate, who would you have chosen? We'll start with Sohold, then Kunor, then Gray, then Abu, then me.
All right. So, I do believe, like, if in case I have to choose a teammate to work with, we're planning to choose either Bigger or Sunky. You know, being the one that I defeated or the one who defeated me. So I do believe that was most like in terms of plot or animation style. But I do believe that's the partners I probably will have to choose if if I really wanted to choose one.
All right. What about you, Kunor?
Okay, so I really wanted to work with Gray, and not gonna lie, Gray was part of the list of people I really wanted to work with. So, yay! But I actually wanted to work with Spicy or Hemic Man and Soholt.
Oh,
Those were my four horsemen of apocalypse.
the Four Horsemen. Oh, that is an interesting nickname.
Yes.
But those are really interesting picks. Not gonna lie. What a wonderful time! What a wonderful thing would have been another timeline.
Yes.
What about you, Gray?
So for me, I wanted to work with CMOS at first, but that didn't turn out the way it did, so I ended up with Kira here. And my second pick was Deku, because I feel like me and him would make a pretty good team.
I mean, both of you are soldiers as well.
Yes.
Oh God, I mean, I think both of you also have stands. Now that I think about it.
Yes, we do.
Oh shit! Now that I imagine, like we have like 3 stand users. I think I'm the 4th, but I don't know. We'll keep that a secret. I'm not gonna tell you about my stand. Anyways, Abu, is there a particular choice you had in mind, did you have a teammate in mind for the collab?
Well, so I chose you. But if I had to choose someone else, I also suggested Gary the GModder. But maybe I was not powerful enough to join him. I assumed like like maybe former enemies then teaming up. He was my enemy in Rush 1. If I had to pick another one, it would be pre-Spunky, because we were destined to team up on Talent Show 3. But unfortunately, I myself dropped out. Yeah. But I think maybe, and I hope maybe Pre he hears this. Maybe in the future we'll partner up on.
That would be really, really cool. Actually, like you two would go really well. Actually, now that I see, and I'm seeing the comments, and that's my turn to answer this. Cam, you actually, I actually, Cam wanted me, and I wanted to like go for Cam or to Erdemon, to either of them.
Oh, so I took you from him.
You fiend! You took me. but like I went with Abu in the end, since like I thought it would be an interesting thing to do, an interesting pick, an interesting I haven't worked with you before, I haven't talked with you much, so thought it would be interesting, and I'm glad I did. But if I had a choice in hand, I would have went for Camouflage or Erdemon, since I never really worked with both of them. I helped them out on stuff, but I never really worked on a video together with them, like a GMOD video. So I hope in the future that I want to work with something on them in the future. I really hope so. So if you're hearing this, remember me. Anyways, actually, are you guys planning on joining the Loop collab as well? Do you have any plans? Say Spike, for example.
From our part, not really. After Rush 2, we decided to just keep working on our own stuff, and maybe just leave the collabs just a little bit aside. So yeah, well, of course, it's an interesting collab, but yeah, it's not something I probably would like to join.
But like, what do you think about the concept of the collab in general?
I think I answered also as well. I love the loop collab as well. Is first of all, like what we're seeing right now. This is really interesting how big are presented like the collab announcement. And I like his cartoonish style and stuff, and how exactly he played with the rules and something was happening in the video. Yeah, the rules general are simple but yet effective and stuff. And in some point, it kind of reminds me to these old videos that was about loop, what it was called, the vicious cycle of series. I remember that.
Yeah, it was called the vicious cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's say this is a more modernized way to see that, probably. Just like the vicious cycle of this new era. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and so far it's an interesting collab we got made around it. I've seen some other entries already made for it. Yeah, many of them might have some nice stuff. Although some others probably would need some work, but yeah, overall it's good.
I love the concept a lot, and like as you said, the announcement is particularly unique. Like it tells you everything that you need about the you need to know about the collab, while also still being interesting enough for you to watch. Actually, do you have any particular opinion on it, Abu? Like if you still have time or the motivation for it, would you actually join the entry as the collab? I mean.
Actually, I would have joined, but myself, I choose to, at this time, maybe focus on my personal projects more since I'm late in that sense. So for now, like it's nothing to do with the Loop collab itself. I think Vicar, especially with his announcements and deadline extensions, he put efforts in his announcements and because I see so many other collabs, like the hosts, they just mash up the entries and boom. This speaks for, and if I want to say, like for a collab I joined earlier, which is the 22nd collab. I think it was by Peyton Tate. I think that collab for myself it was like the only rule, just 22nd. And there wasn't much quality control, so I think you all remember this collab. It was like a mess that the host removed it and then uploaded it again. I think about Vigar, he puts effort in his look collab. Going back to the question, I think at the moment I will not be joining any collabs, but maybe I'll be sticking for future projects, collab projects.
I see. Yeah.
Like Meet the Medically Animated. I think not the animated projects, but like collaboration projects, especially. Maybe I'm willing to join in the future.
Oh, okay. Actually, I kind of feel the same way, though I don't have any particular projects in mind. If I don't have the time for it, but if I do, I really would love to begin to join the Loop collab simply because like the concept is particularly funny. Like, you could do so much with it. Like even the very rule of saying, "Oh, you can use any version of Hightower," it just bursts with
even higher tower.
Even higher tower. Oh, I'm terrified of whoever going to use that map, but. Last but not least, Kunor and Gray. Do you two have any opinions about the Loop collab? Does it interest you? Do you want to join it?
I actually have a script for it.
Oh, you do?
I actually have a script and like 3 dupes of characters I made specifically for my Loop collab entry.
That's the sound of a dedicated animator. Oh
yeah, those I want to make the entry. It's right now storyboard and a save on my drive.
But it sounds like you have the motivation, yeah.
Same problem as Rush collab, Life in the Wake, college.
Yeah, I get that, but the fact that you Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
about Rush 2, I just want to say about life. Luckily for me, I think what helped me to make our entry the way it did is that when I made the Rushed entry, it coincided with me like suddenly gaining months of free time. So I think that was a major pro for our Rushed entry.
Yeah, I get that. But I do like that you, Kunor, have already like prepped everything. Like you have the storyboard, you have you have the dupes, you have the save. You got this idea in your head right now. Like you already are like, way ahead of other people. It's cool. Like the fact that you already got motivation for it, it's pretty neat. I can't wait for your entry.
Thank you.
Uh,
Let's hope I can finalize it before
Hang in there,
or the
hang in
deadline.
it. Yeah, you're gonna kick ass. Don't worry about that.
Thank
You're
you.
gonna do it. Don't worry about it. Last but not least, Gray, do you share the same opinion as your partner?
Well, so yeah, I'm proud to announce that I will be working on an entry for Loop Collab, but this time I will be working with Deku.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
so
like when you mentioned that you wanted to work with Deku, I'm sorry, I'm sorry for like the loud noise, but I'm actually gonna hype for it.
you're fine. So yeah, it was my idea to, cause I was talking to Deku once, and I was like, hey, maybe we should partner up for Loop Collab, and he was like, why not?
Yeah.
So we are. So probably after the podcast, we're probably gonna start working on that.
Mm. Well, I can't wait for the entry. You guys are gonna be doing great.
Yeah.
Just so you know, for anyone listening to the podcast, the Loop Collab is still looking for entries. So if you got the motivation, the time, and the skills, work on your entry. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's copyright.
Join the Loop Collab. Let that creative juice in your brain loose onto the world. But yeah.
Yeah,
So
baby.
no, yeah. Big shout out to Vigar. Good luck on the Loop collab. I hope it goes real well because it's a pretty neat idea. Right. Now that we talked about collabs, I actually want to talk about a certain phenomena going on with collabs lately. Previously, like back in the old days, collabs were rather public. Like you had like you had like these collab announcements. You just do an entry and then you hope the collab announcer would just look at your video and go accept it. But nowadays, lately, we've been seeing a surge of private collabs, invite only collabs. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's a good thing or not? Do you think it allowed for like higher quality entries or better quality control? We'll start with Sohold, then Abu, then Kunor, then Gray. The original order.
All right. So yeah, I do believe these private collabs are beginning to be somewhat common, and it is something that I'm really looking forward to see more often. Because contrary to the public collabs in which you really have to just put your video and hope it gets selected to be part of the collab, around here you'll have a nice chance to see what you're capable to do, and even to improve your skills, because it's more like you will have contact with all the animators that are doing something great, and probably you can give feedback to them, maybe they can give feedback to you, and it's a mutual improvement for both. So yeah, in my opinion, it's something that really looking forward to, because it's something that we see, for example, the first Rush collab, in this second Rush collab, there is something that's happening there in the Talent Show 3, but it's not released yet, so it's only a matter of waiting until it's released. But there's a more control quality over there, and there's like more chances that you expect the collaboration will be more with the best quality, with nice animations and stuff, rather than if it was a public one. So yeah, that's basically my opinion on that one.
That's an interesting take. Not gonna lie, I do agree with what you said. On a personal note, I do think private collabs are beneficial in that you get to have a tighter control on who gets in. You get to pick the right people for the collab. You get to have a lot of quality control. You get to do a lot of, you get to you fine tune the collab, if you will. It's rather interesting. What do you think about it, Abu, as well? Since you did join 2 private collabs, do you have any particular opinion? Do you miss when collabs were just, public out in the open, just do an entry and hope you could get in, or do you like it when someone invites you to a collab and you get to just, work on something with better quality control?
Well, I think private collabs are good at one thing. Are good at also like they have a major pro, and it's hype. Like like maybe the host can do a trailer like collab coming soon. Then like Rush 2, maybe after a while, boom, like 1 hour collab, like out of the blue. So I think it works as for building hype. As for open collabs, I think the negative for me, I think it's quality control because even if you have quality control, you have so many people, especially like if you're popular, you have so many people they want to partake in the collab. Either you'll have a very extremely overly long collab, or you'll have to deal with so many participants suddenly joining. So, like you have to make so many rejection in open collabs, especially if you want to make quality control.
I do agree on that. I do agree on the quality control part, since that it is a big bonus for private collabs. Last but not least, Kunor and Gray, do you have any particular opinions about it?
I feel that it's a good thing in the sense that it allows to make collabs be much higher quality, yes. But I also feel that open collabs are like a melting pot to discover new Gmodders, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get that. I mean,
So
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I feel like private collabs by invite are a pretty good idea, actually. That yeah, because sometimes private collabs are just like they're very common now, but I haven't been a lot around for a long time to experience the public ones, so I'm not really entirely sure about that. So yeah.
Right. Thank you for all those particular opinions, but I do agree on everything that you guys said. Like in general, private collabs are a lot better, a lot safer, a lot more interesting. And as Abu said, you get the hype of just suddenly knowing about a collab and just seeing like these cool entries being like teased in, and suddenly boom, like a really long collab. Like there's that sense of hype. But yeah, I want to tap off on a little thing. Since you when we talked about collabs, right? We talked about like some of us talked about, oh, we can't join this particular collab because we got like a project coming up, or Rush 2 got me into thinking that I want to do I want to work on my projects now a lot more efficiently. So on that particular topic, do you guys have any upcoming projects to show off? Anything in mind, or anything you're continuing to work on?
All right, so for our part, we're still working on episode 7. Yeah, we seen that in the previous podcast I was in. Still working on that. Still taking just a little more time than expected. But don't worry, it's because I'm trying to improve the quality the best I could. Of course, because I'm working to the new character I promised into the previous GMOD was. And yeah, that's overall the only project I have to at the moment. I'm still on working. Let's say I'm almost in the half part of it, just to mention a little bit progress. So yeah, that's the most I have at the moment.
Thank you, Spot. Thank you, Sohold, and I hope I hope that episode 7 comes out as you imagine it to be.
Hi.
All right. You did mention, actually, Apple, you mentioned that you had, like, you're continuing off with a project of yours. Mind telling the audience about it a bit?
I think it's a project that I've been trying to make since 2016. I think a major gripe for not finishing it yet as of now, because I made the mistake that I was just adding up so many ideas, and at the end I realized like it's too much to handle. So maybe at some point I realized I should stop adding ideas and I should actually animate. So for now, I think I have, let's say, 50 or 60% done. I'm not sure when it's gonna be done, but I think maybe it's never too late. I hope.
Thank you for that, and I hope that whatever you're working on is gonna turn out great, because I know it will, because you're
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kunor, do you have any? Okay, other than the loop collab, do you have anything in mind?
I actually want to make a Christmas video. Something short.
Oh,
Something
Christmas
short.
video. Damn.
Yes. I also want to make 2 videos presenting another 2 characters beside 01. Like another 2 boys that I have also been working on for a while.
Mhm.
They will be more like antagonists than allies, but for 01, but they are special to me and I want to make good shit with them. So yeah,
I get that. I get that. That's a really good feeling to have, you know. Like you want to make sure that these characters are just well represented, you know.
yes.
Ah,
Yeah, it's 4 videos in mind. But
ooh, 4 videos.
yeah, I mean it's 1 video for each character, the love collab, and the Christmas video. And that's about it. Every blue moon.
Every blue moon. But you know, the fact that you already got ideas in mind is just a testament that, you know, you got the motivation for it, you know. And you
Yes.
got and you got the passion for it. So the fact that you're passionate about your characters and all that. So good luck. I hope your
Wanna see
project
some dark corner lore?
Deep
dark.
lore.
That was interesting. Anyways, last but not least, Gray, you do have the loop collab with Deku, right? But do you have anything else?
Right. I think after I'm done working on the loop collab with Deku, I think I'll be moving on to my 3rd and final installment of my series I've been working on for quite a while, Casual Day.
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
So yeah, I have been planning for it. There's no previews as of now.
So
But-
it's still in the storyboard phase.
Pretty much, yeah, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
That's a good way of saying it, but you know, I do hope that you'll be able to do it the way you imagine it to be. Yeah, I believe in you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and I think after Casual Day 3, I do have a few ideas in mind, but I'd like to keep it as a surprise, you know?
Yeah, it's best to focus on like the goal that you have in mind, like the most recent goal, or like the goal, the most important goal. Then once that's done, you focus on the other ideas.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I don't have any particular upcoming projects in mind. I actually have nothing in mind. I had ideas originally, and I even talked about it in previous podcasts, but I just end up not working on anything. The thing is, to me, you can have a million ideas in mind. You could have like these wonderful storyboards that you got stored in your mind, and like you feel motivated to work on it. But then you look at the add-ons, you look at the maps, you look at the models, you try and execute, and you feel like, man, that might not work after all, and just scrap it. But I hope I get that particular motivation like you guys. Since you guys all got really interesting projects in mind, and I'm rooting for you. So, good luck, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you. Also, so that's a really relatable feeling.
I know, right? Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think about this, I think it's exciting to just have idea. Look, oh, like I have an idea, I'm visualizing like this. But when
Yeah.
you open GMOD, when you animate it, you get tired and just close it. Like this is maybe 90% of the time for me.
that is a pretty common problem, not just in GMOD, like in every creative field.
Yeah, like in execution.
But the moment you get over that feeling, it's pretty exhilarating.
That's why I think I want to add something. I think even the things you love doing can be hard sometimes, and it's okay. Like not
Yeah.
if you enjoy doing something, it doesn't have to be enjoyable like all the time. It has to be hard, and it has to suck sometimes, even if you love doing it.
Yeah, but you still want to have the motivation for it. You still want to, you want that particular, you want to reach that particular goal, even if the process itself, the journey is harsh and tiring. The end goal
I actually learned this with Rush too. Maybe when we were making it and it's done. Maybe I'm hoping like maybe for 10,000 views or 20,000 views, but then after the views it got, I think maybe I should enjoy the process, and I did enjoy the process. So it was a lesson for me that I should enjoy the process and not worry about when it's gonna be done like this.
Yeah, that is something that I really relate to, and I think the rest of the audience and chat really relate to that as well. Right now, now that we're done, I actually want to start with this particular segment, video review. Now, us and the cast are going to have watched two videos, and we're going to start review, and we're going to like dissect them, talk about them a little bit. Fittingly, the first video is about Rush 2, and it's about two of our cast members right here. It's Gray and Kunor's Rush 2 entry, Bizarre Dayz. So, so for this particular entry, I want the two people that worked on it to talk about it in depth. So we'll start with Kunor. How describe the video a little bit? Like, what did you like about it? Like animating it or storyboarding? Like, what's some moment that you really liked?
I am not gonna lie. One of my favorite moments was when, on the beginning, when Mega and Ultimate Slayer are trapped in the dimension of terror called Mexico. They are trapped in one of the chambers called Oxo. Like, for some reason, I was laughing the entire time as I was animating Mega and Ultimate Slayer inside the Oxo. I don't know, something in my brain was wired to laugh at it. But Oxo might be loved. But one thing that I actually liked was the fighting sequences that involved PP.
Mm.
Like every time I animated PP, I was thinking this thing is going to kill everyone. it's
Ooh.
it's going to become sentient and
It's evil.
it's going to become sentient and go through all our computers and we all die. That's how the Rush to Collab ends.
Oh my god, that's a terrifying thought.
Yes. Actually, one of the plans I had for PP was that when it got pissed off, it got all red and bad.
Yeah. Mm.
It was going to grow like 4 scout arms and crawl at Mach 5 towards towards 01.
That is scary. Hold on,
So like almost like an eldritch abomination.
like a bloodborne boss.
Yes, that was one of the first ideas that crossed my
Yeah,
mind.
actually, I want to say that this reminds me about what Thomas the Tank Engine, like I think coming out with a head and tentacles.
Oh my god! Actually, did you even talk to Gray about it? Like this particular idea?
Because the thing I did before talking to Gray was, okay, is this thing even accomplishable? And I tried to make it on GMOD before talking to Gray, and I couldn't figure out a way of making that thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could technically make it work with some welding or like some trickery, but I get that it was difficult. But
yeah,
but is this like the first time you've told anybody about this idea?
No, since I wanted to keep the secrecy about it.
Oh my god. That that was that was quite the revelation.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sadly, it never came to be.
What a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame. Because that would have been funny as well to me. I like creepy stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, that's actually all I have to say without dragging on for hours. So.
Don't worry about it. Thank you, Kunor.
So yeah, I'm very proud of what I made here with Kira. Like my favorite part of animating this was probably my fight with Ultimate Slayer. And all it does is just starts off with, is this a fight or a staring contest?
I love that line.
Then,
I actually love it.
And then it just goes on into the fight. I knock him down, and I just go, nice bet, and just erase it from existence.
Just zahandured into non-existence.
Yeah. And then to finish it all off, he does a wind up kick, or a wind up ready to kick me in the face,
Mm.
But I just I do my little bit of magic, and then do the reverse opposite of that. And then gotcha. And he just goes flying towards the bus and then back down to the ground.
Yeah, I love that particular fight sequence. Honestly, I just love the way that you make like the weight of it. Like it feels heavy. Like the stand feels heavy. Like its punches feel like raw and strong. I just like how you also like incorporate like the hand into this. It's really interesting.
Yeah, that ability is like one of my ideas I wanted to give my stand.
And it's a pretty good idea. I loved it. I loved the entire fight in general. It was pretty fun as hell.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun making it too.
Ooh. I know you did. Now, I mean, the fact that you two went ham with this is pretty much shows.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that, Gray and Kunor. You did a pretty swell entry. Not gonna lie.
No worries.
Right. As for the others, oh, you're welcome. So hold. This time, don't give Spike the mic. She keeps stealing the mic, so keep her on a leash. But so hold. Do you have
Oh,
any?
come on.
Yeah. Hey, we invited so hold, but keep things. We got to keep things professional. Anyways, do you have any particular what did you like about the entry in particular? Was it like a specific thing that you liked about it?
Well, there's many aspects I like. Like the overall style was just really amazing, and see how these two characters has this kind of JoJo style stance. Well, of course, I haven't watched that. I just only know what it means, but I believe it's a detail is we will respect it to be added. And yeah, I love it. Like Gray voice acting on this one. Like this voice, it fits well to the character he creates and how he establishes all of that, like a nice bed and stuff like that. It was something really epic to listen to that. And also the detail that I like from it was from when Gray teleports from one part to another. Like these visual effects is just amazing to see. And yeah, although I see many about Connor fighting against with Mega, and it also was really great. Although I really wish that I could see more about Gray other than just only kicking Ultimate Slayer's asses real quick. Although we can see in the background on static poses that it's still fighting against Ultimate Slayer, but it will be cool to see more stuff from his part. That's my overall opinion on it, and yeah, it was a really amazing job for you lads.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As for myself, I think for myself, I haven't realized any JoJo references until I've been told, because I haven't watched JoJo. Actually, I'm surprised how many JoJo powers we have in this collab. So I have an idea, like maybe all the JoJo power users should fight each other, and see who wins. But as for the entry itself, I think your voice, Gray, actually fits. Like it's like a gentleman voice. So I think it actually works, especially for Soldier. As for Kyra's parts, I think I'm surprised to see we're not the only ones who thought of a split attack finisher. Apparently, we should fight them, Sal, in the future, since we're not the only ones having split screen attack finisher. But I think overall, it was great and brutal, especially when they killed what's it called, PP or something. Like squished it. But overall, yeah, I think it's great, especially the voice acting.
It was rather brutal, not gonna lie. Just smashed it. I just felt sorry. like when he got crushed and like they were crying. It was just I felt sad.
But it's
There's
necessary.
no mercy for those creatures.
A necessary sacrifice.
Yes.
Necessary price to victory.
For
The crushing would have made a lot more sense had I been able to achieve the Count Arms thing.
Oh gosh. Oh god. Don't bring that back. Oh no. But
We'll
anyways,
haunt you.
I want to sleep good tonight. But anyways, that was a fantastic entry. Thank you, Kunor and Gray. That was really fun. Then we had some interesting revelations that will haunt us for the rest of eternity. I'm glad you guys worked on it. Next up is a classic, a really old classic, but still a classic. That Spy Goes Bursting Again by Manuel Monroe. It's a rather old video, but it's still pretty interesting to me. I'm gonna confess, I don't think I've watched it before.
Don't watch it while you're eating.
Oh yeah, but I personally liked it. Like even when it's this old, it still aged like fine wine. It has this cartoony vibe. It's unique. It takes TF2 characters and just puts them into like these unique, interesting situations. It manages to be funny and interesting.
Yeah, actually, about Manuel Monaro, I think I watched when GMOD tennis were a thing. I
Yeah.
watched he made a part of an GMOD tennis called NG Apocalypse. I think that was like in 2010. I
Oh,
think like he made a part of the tennis where like the characters blink and everyone was like, oh my god, like the characters are blinking and like this. So this is before SMH, before
yeah.
Ad or anything.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Manuel Monaro.
Yeah. Like the fact that, back then they managed to pull off, things that we didn't think that were possible back then, like, or the things that were that are real easy to do in SMH, but that were tough to do. Is like, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So I can say, yeah, just like it was mentioned here, it was a classic that I watched like a long time ago, even to a point that I really forgot about that video. And like when it was told to review that, it was like, wow, like I didn't remember that video, but I'm glad that I'm seeing this back again. Yeah, I forgot the jobs that Manuel Monaro did on this one. I kind of remember the most about the photos invented stuff, but I kind of forgot this one, and it's glad that I'm seeing this this one again. The funny thing, the interesting thing for me was how he managed to blend like in some certain kind of comedy, but in a little point it's like a tragedy, and it gets something really serious. Like when Spy grows up and explodes Mom Scouts on it, and it wasn't a nice, definitely the change again on that one, because being this kind of video, you always expect to be funny and comedy every single time, but it was a nice change that he did on that one, and I love exactly the loop story that goes around that, though. It's kind of a mystery that how he teleported from the jail to inside of Mom Scout. Yeah, it is a story that probably have some nice creativity, and it's a very well structured video for its time.
Yeah, I do agree on that. Like even when it's this old, it's still storyboarded pretty well. It has a lot of interesting gags, gags. But sorry pun. But it manages to surprise you at each corner. It's like it's interesting. Like even when you don't expect it, it's just it gets you every time. I like how interesting the whole thing is. Like, it's like a fever dream. Like like you never like you don't like it feels like it's like looking at it like a different universe of sorts. I guess I'm being too elaborate with this, but TLDR, funny haha video. I loved it.
Yes, it's a really good video, but I am not gonna lie. The moment I opened the video and saw the first scene, the first thing that crossed my mind was, how did Spy get there? Like,
yeah.
oh no, how did he get there?
Like, how did it happen? Like,
Yes.
what caused this?
Yes, but I have to make a remark and a question, because I forgot to ask this before this moment came. Was this made with SMH or an animation tool in Garry's Mod, or all of this is good old GMOD animation, frame by frame screenshot? Like, that's my main question, because wow, it's so smooth.
Yeah, for its time, it's rather smooth. Yeah, which says something about the quality being presented here.
Yes, because it's a really good video overall, and I really want to see the rest of the videos of this guy to know how Spy can become a Mojai. Like, this is the prequel to Spy Mojai or something.
Actually, yeah, I don't think I've watched enough of Monroe's videos. Like it's been ages since I've watched him, so I probably would after this podcast probably go back to and see the stuff that I missed out on.
Yes. Hmm.
So, my opinion on this, this is actually my second time watching this. For the first time, it was my first time hearing about this guy, but now that I'm watching it the second time, I gotta say it's pretty good. It kind of reminds me of how like kind of like Delta's animation. You know what I mean? In a way, like if Delta like made a Fever Dream video, it would probably be something like this. So I also like the part where the spy is just trapped in in like the insides of a person, he's, and just trying to get out. That that was a pretty good storyline, I must say. Uh, yeah. Other than that, the entire video itself was pretty good. So yeah, props to the the guy who made it. That's all
Yeah.
I wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that I do agree with what you guys said about the video. I personally loved it. Like it's been ages since I've watched, stuff from that particular era, but the fact that you manages to like interest me till the end goes to show just how great the video is, even when it's this old. It I loved it. I genuinely really, really do. I really did. All right. Now that we're done, we actually during this whole chat that we had, we actually took a couple of the questions you guys asked in chat, and you can still ask. By the way, if you have any more questions in mind, we'll pick the most interesting ones. But we're going to answer some of the questions you guys had, and we'll give our lovely, lovely thoughts out. So. I want to start with this particular interesting question we got from good old cowboy hat wearing Cammy Flash. What do you guys think of El Toro's advanced HWM models? You've seen those, right? Like the new models with like interesting flexes and whatnot. What do you think? What do you guys think about it?
All right, so I do believe these models are just are a nice creation he made, and they have a lot of flexibilities. I mean, literally, a lot of flexibilities to work with, and there's many good stuff you can get with that. And if you're creative enough, you can create something amazing. And it's just a kind of a blast of many ideas you can work with them. However, something I'm seeing right now, it's that sure these models are cool, but at some point it feels quite repetitive, because I mean, in the videos I've seen using this kind of model, it feels like they're just like using the same style of El Toro's, which is not bad, of course. It's really amazing, but it could be cool to see a more creativity to create more something that what's already done. But still, so far, in my opinion, the models are just really great.
For myself, I think one thing these models could work perfectly for, and is that I am not joking, maybe Eldritch horror or horror, and maybe Uncanny Valley horror. Okay, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I did have that particular angle in mind. Yeah, like when I saw these models, like you could make some really good horror with that one.
Yeah, and I think in moderation, like anything, I think they're actually a gateway to many great ideas. But I have to agree with Sohal that I'm seeing maybe I don't want to be as pessimistic, but I think I'm seeing slight milking of these models. Like I think what made El Toro and Crazy Scout Finn's videos with these models are the models themselves and more elements. But I think some animators I've seen maybe they're using these models, but they're missing the other elements that made these two popular animators special. So that's the pro and cons for me with these models.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I feel like these models are while they're interesting, nobody really takes advantage of their uncanny valley nature of them. Okay, funny enough, now that we're talking about it, I kind of actually got an idea for like motivation to do horror someday with these models, so I really want to utilize that. You do have an interesting point, Abu. Yeah, well, like when you mentioned them, like you could use them for like eldritch horror. I feel like I should have done something related for Halloween, like a horror themed thing related to that. Damn. I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah, because I think especially the horror genre is not very popular in Gmod, so I think that can be an extra.
Yeah.
I think maybe Oh, okay, no problem.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm fine. I'm done. You go ahead.
Yeah, I think with the El Toro models and the really, I wouldn't get it concerning, but the repetition that we see with Gmod videos using these models, I think it's something natural. They came when they were published. Most of the people that saw it were El Toro followers, and it's their, I wouldn't call him their hero, but it's their model to follow. Also, since he has like such a big chunk of grass within the Gmod community, I really think it was kind of natural that this happened. But I think the true potential of these models, it's yet to be seen. Like, I feel like in a few years, some insane bastard will manage to make something that will leave us speechless with it. Let it be horror or comedy.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Like, it's green. It's the first crops coming out of the earth. We'll see how they turn out.
So yeah, El Toro's new models, they are just fascinating, and there's been a few people that have been putting his models to good use. Like, for example, this one video called Sniper's Moonshine, made by that gray cartoon pony. I thought that video was amazing, and like how he like made the sniper, the medic, and the pyro just like a bunch of like flexing around, like with, for example, his hands to spell out bush shine. I thought that was amazing.
Oh yeah,
And just the overall animation in general, I thought was really good too.
like you could say like the models are fluid. Like you could just like mold them into whatever shape you want them to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, and my favorite part about that video was where the medic just asked for ice cubes for the Girardi he tried.
Oh my god. Ooh.
Needs some ice cubes.
Yeah,
that got me.
Right. Before I move on to the next question, I do want to address something I'm seeing in chat, but it's a bit of a personal opinion that I got actually. I did notice that a lot of people using these models tend to use them the exact same way that El Toro uses them. So they're not particularly, going all out with it. It's kind of sad since like the blame is not on the models. That's my opinion, because you could do a lot of great ideas with it. As Apu said, horror. You could do horror, or as Kunor said, horror comedy. But I feel like people are constraining themselves to just this particular idea of, oh, okay, these are El Toro's models, therefore we should, like, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of that and do something like El Toro's, like, uh, you kind of want to do your own flair, if you will. Like you want to try and experiment with these models. Like as I mentioned, these models are like fluid, or are like mold. You should try and just play around with them. Like clay. Push out your inner creativity. Make something that's real cool and interesting. But that's my own take, on a personal note. All right. So we got another question from Stop Motion, and he says, and they say, how do you come up with a unique, versatile character that represents yourself in Gmod, i.e., like your persona, your Sona? How did you come up with it? What was the process?
All right. So about here, it was an interesting process that was from many years ago, in fact. And I don't know, I felt like I wanted to create something, in our case, with Sonic or fan characters, but try to make it just a little bit more than just then characters that goes from, I don't know, have superpowers or abilities or mystical abilities and some stuff like that. I wanted to create something like more, normal, in kind of a way to represent how maybe real life is, or at least what I experienced through my eyes. And yeah, this is what I really did for my characters, and try to put them, with different personalities. Here, for example, Soho, like, this is part of me, and Spike as well is one part of me, and the other characters, Alex, Makrov, as well, some certain aspects from me that I interact with real life, like, and this is what I really wanted to put in my characters and the situations they've been working on, despite be it positives or negatives.
Even some misfortunes, but yeah, that's how life is, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, actually.
As for myself, the plan for myself, it wasn't actually supposed to represent me or a Sona or an OC, whatever you say it. It was just actually since my video NG's Complex Crisis, I just made like a scout with fire metal powers, and just over the years I slowly modified him, and that's all. But then the Rushed 1 came out, and I was told by Camouflage I should choose a character to represent me. So I chose the Scout. Oh, this Scout has the fire powers. I'll just choose him. End the story. And I also noticed so many Gmodders prefer to add their own voice. Maybe I thought maybe I'll do it, but for me, I think I'm not ready yet. Maybe in the future, I'm not sure. That's all.
Like, your point about I didn't plan for them to be my OC, but then like my persona, but then all of a sudden I ended up having
Rushed game.
yeah, rushed combat came. But, I feel like the Scout kind of fits you in a sense that obviously, like, you don't plan on him being your Sona because you already established him as a character.
If I have to say, like, the inspiration for him, I got it from the movie Iron Man 3, where they used to have like a fire metal powers, like a metal sound as they heat themselves up. That was like the main inspiration for his fire powers.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I am quite the opposite of Abo. I can make a TF2 Sona for me because I eventually end up taking that persona and giving it its own story, and I don't feel that it's right to make a self-insert of you. So that's why I kind of don't have a persona. If I ever was to get one, It would be probably a shadow figure or something something
Ah.
abstract.
But the one that you're using is not really your Sona, right? But more of an OC.
Yeah, it's more of an OC. It would be really weird if my TF2 Sona was a vampire.
I think it would be really interesting. Really, I'm gonna lie.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
It's fine.
So, my character, he's not really anything special. He's just a soldier with just a bunch of cosmetics, just a TF2 loadout you'd see
Hmm.
in game. But I've actually had this look since 2018, and I
Ooh.
just decided to keep that.
Embrace.
This was way before I became a GMOD animator.
Like you embraced it, if you will.
Yeah. But yeah, I like this look that I've got for my character, and he actually does represent like a part of me.
Yeah, I get you.
And the fact that my voice can fit with this character,
Yeah.
it's just shocking to me.
I do think it's a testament to just how well you've designed Gray in general.
Yeah.
And also that your voice acting is good.
And the colors, well, orange is my favorite color, obviously.
I mean, it shows, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I do like the combination of red and orange, so I pretty much stick with that since 2018.
I mean, it does make you look recognizable. So, and that's the intended goal.
Yeah.
I do actually want to talk in depth about it a little bit, since here's a funny thing. Okay, so like Gray, my Sona is actually my TF2 loadout, but the process behind it is rather weird because I am a big fan of Assassin's Creed, and it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
I found out that there was an Assassin's Creed hood, so I managed to get it through trading, and I used the goggles because that's the only item that I had at the time, and voila. Originally, it was just me with the goggles and the hood, and for some reason, the necromon, I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. the book, okay, the small book that you could put on your chest.
Yeah.
But over time, I realized, wow, it makes me just look stupid and silly. So I ended up replacing it with the distinguished rogue, to make myself look a little fancier. And honestly, I dig the look now. But looking at it now, my character looks very recognizable. Even though I'm gonna be honest, Sal doesn't smoke, but for some reason, people keep giving him a cigarette.
I made sure. I made sure. I made sure I would not use it.
You trust the boot.
Because you know why? Because for more spice, I removed the cigarette immediately. So it's go habit for me.
Yeah, thank you for not giving me lung cancer. But at some point, I feel like someone is going to give me like 1 million cigarettes. just recreate the gentleman meme.
Maybe with the new models, they can.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I don't want to think about
Your
it.
fate has been sealed.
You put the image in my head. Come on. But yeah, I do like the look. Though I never originally planned on making Sal anything special. Then at some point I made him into like this agent. Then at some point, actually this is a funny thing. In Rushed 1, I ended up giving him time stop powers because I thought it really interesting and funny and cool because time stop powers are cool. But there was one move that I gave him that's pretty unique, but it came by accident, by total fucking accident. It was the Super Sow Slam, which I forgot to include in Rush 2. Oh, it was a that was one
Actually, I remember at the last few days, but I figured I shouldn't remind you because you're already stressed to finish the entry.
Yeah,
So I shouldn't remind you.
I actually wanted to make it. I actually wanted to put it in the entry, but we didn't have the time. Fuck. But yeah, I was planning on finding a cool way to kill Cam at the end of Rushed 1, but then I thought, okay, I don't have enough time. I'm just gonna slam something into him, and I thought, okay, it would be funny if I just used like a barrel next to Erdemon's corpse, and then throw it at him, then you plunge a sword into him, and yeah. But that's how it came to be. I eventually ended up with Sal, who does time stop powers and loves like revolvers and all that. Though I also ended up making an Alucard because I saw Jackie's Among Us entry, which is pretty fucking cool. Check that out and check the Among Us collab out. And I asked him personally, okay, can I use this? That would be great. That would be and he let me use the tube, and that's really cool. Thank you, Jackie. And yeah, I ended up with this transformation, which I did with Abu at the end of Rush 2. Abu did his own transformation for the Scout, and I ended up doing mine, and I like the results. Like, I dig the look of Helsing Sal. It just makes him look really badass, and I really want to.
Fun tip, because of how much I don't watch anime.
Yeah.
When you said Helsing, I thought you meant the movie Van Helsing.
I mean, they are. I mean, both the anime and the movie are inspired by the Van Helsing legend. But let's not get off topic. But yeah. All right. That was the unique first style character question by Stop Motion. That was a really interesting question. Now, for our next question, this was by our lovely friend Super Rift, and he says, "Do you guys enjoy seeing characters designed for combat more, or finding characters whose traits are adapted to a fighter scenario? What do you think?"
In my opinion, I do believe it's. I really like to see this in both situations, because combining both characters and stuff, it can create something amazing. It can break some rules and stuff. So I do believe, in my opinion, I would really like to see a mix of both characters. Probably even the funny character adapting to the serious one, or vice versa. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I would really like to see more often.
Yeah, I agree with him. The same thing.
For me, since I like GMOD videos when they're serious, like the action thriller genre, so I lean towards design for combat, especially if it's like a mecha or a robot or anything like destructive and awesome like that. That's why when we're at the topic, I for myself found the most entry in Rush 2 that intrigued me was Karapik, about his medic fighting wheelchair smooth. So yeah, I think I prefer characters designed for combat.
In general. Yeah. That's an interesting opinion.
Well, as you can see with 01's design, I really like combat-ready characters. And from a time from a while ago to now, I've seen a lot more of armor and battle suits for GMOD characters, especially TF2. The modeler Choev has been doing like a great job to actually expand that roster. Especially with his, for example, the Soviet tractor add-on that he made, where the heavy is now covered in a tactical SWAT armor that looks absolutely stunning. So yeah, I actually think they look really good. And I would love to see more. Never enough.
So for me, I would prefer funny characters more over combat design characters because, I mean, at some point, you gotta have a little comedy, like, in your characters, right? So like for example, I really like Vigor's character, like how he's just like designed to be a Looney Tunes character,
Yeah.
like that's sort of character.
Yeah, I get you. Like funny characters are a lot more interesting because they bring a sort of unique energy to the scene.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of which that was a very interesting name to bring up because our next question is from Vigar, and it's the last question to tap off the lovely podcast. So, and he asks, would you want more custom models for GMOD, TF2 styled and such, or for variety?
Answer, my bigger fellow. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, in my opinion, I do believe the workshop probably will need something more. I mean, in terms of talking about TF2, I do believe there's a nice quality of those models that you can use, even from maps to props to cosmetics and stuff. And it has already a nice variety, but I do believe it will be great to see something for more serious intended things, like for scene buildings. Like, I don't know, you have a scene in your mind, you want something, for example, a restaurant or an alley or walking on the streets. And I do believe the workshop does not exactly have that much quality of models. So, in my opinion, I do believe it will be great to see more of that stuff rather than TF2 style thing.
I think for myself, I think TF2 itself still offers enough variety, even though I think like TF2 characters can both be funny, can be serious, can be goofy, can be whatever they want. And especially that we already have an established community, and Valve is one of the few companies that don't mind copyright about using their characters. I think we're in a very, very sweet spot to be able to use TF2 characters. I mean, Valve doesn't mind about you using TF2 characters, is why we're all using TF2 characters, especially, I think. So I think TF2 offers a lot of opportunities. And I think the variety of TF2 could be enough.
Okay, so my take is custom models are a go-to for me because, I mean, we're resting on over a decade of story in GMOD, and most of it outside is around TF2. And I think there's nothing anywhere close to the amount of personalization that the TF2 characters can give you with all the workshop by your side. Like, you have all the collection of TF2 hexes there to help you, but after a while, it feels like you're seeing like the same 9 persons on the same place. Even if you use custom textures to make them look different, you can see that they're the same model. And for example, when new TF2 style characters are added, I rejoice. For example, when recently it was uploaded in Halloween, the witch model Like, it's a witch. But she looks different from all the TF2 characters, while at the same time still looking like part of the same universe. That opens a lot of opportunities and refreshes this medium we work on. Also, the new Fem Scout model was added, and now you can have Fem Scout on the middle school and Fem Scout after you rejected her, so good.
So yeah, for me, I agree with Kira on this one about custom models. Well, more TF2 characters being added. And the two that I would really love to see as TF2 characters would probably be Walter White and Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad. Like, I would love to see those characters as in the TF2 art style. I think it would be very interesting. And
I do agree on all those particular points, especially because our videos are based off TF2 models, so we kind of want a sort of art style consistency, if you will.
yeah,
So we want to keep things in sync. But I do have an interesting thing to talk about. But I picked up something from chat, and I kind of agree with what they say. There's not a lot of TF2 female characters, and the ones that exist are either sexualized or just Fem Scout, Fempire. There's not a lot of variety. Like, it would be interesting to have more, or let's say an updated Fem Spy, for example. I think it would be really interesting because you can make a lot of ideas with these particular models. Even though making models in the TF2 art style is rather difficult, I have to say. I do also want to mention that sometimes there are specific models that I want to personally actually make or port because whatever I find about the workshop, they're not particularly well made. Example, MMD models, like anime models or VTuber models or JoJo models, they end up feeling stiff or their hair physics doesn't work at all, so you end up with something that looks awkward or their face flexes look creepy and unnatural. So I kind of want to work on that. Make a model that fits the source engine but still looks pretty great.
yeah.
But that's just my opinion. But I think having custom models would be really, really helpful. It would make my day, honestly. I would be able to do a lot of ideas. So honestly, on a personal note, I kind of want to focus on that particular process. I want to actually learn how to make models, for my own use or for the use of others. So yeah. All right. That's it. That's for all the questions. Thank you guys for submitting those. That was really interesting. And I hope you actually enjoyed listening to the podcast. I want to give a big shout out to all the cast members that were here. Thank you, Apu, Kunor, Gray, and Sohold for joining us.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Yeah, no problem.
Sure, was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Better next time.
My pleasure.
Yeah, I had so much fun talking with you guys, and I hope you
Yes.
did too, and I hope you guys did too. A special shout out to Pino, who is the streamer for our podcast, who did a wonderful job handling my sorry ass and doing transitions and making sure everything works smoothly. Thank you very much. You're great. You're awesome. Special thanks to the GMOD staff for helping us throughout the whole thing and making sure that we pull off the show. Sorry about the scuff. Sorry if I raised my voice or made things a little awkward. This is technically my second rodeo as a host, though we don't count the first attempt, if I were to be honest. So let's just say this is my first attempt, and I hope I can improve in the future if I ever get the chance. But thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good
Good
time.
night. Good night.
You too.
What did I say?
Thank you.
Bye bye.